What is up, guys? Thunder Studios here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Studio Series Deluxe Class Age of Extinction KSI Widow. Now, I'm pretty sure they couldn't call this Widowmaker, which is the correct name for this character, because of licensing with like Overwatch or something, but yeah, for the purposes of this review, I am going to be calling her Widowmaker. Taking a closer look at Widowmaker, this is pretty interesting because this is the first official design of this character, because this is in the concept art subline of Studio Series, so it hasn't officially been in a movie or like media, but it has had concept art. So this was, if you didn't already know, this was meant to be the replacement for Stinger in the movie Age of Extinction. And I do think this is a better character than Stinger and a better toy than Stinger, because I know that figure gets hated on a lot, but it is really bad. But luckily, this figure isn't bad at all. It has a bunch of weird design issues, but for the most part, this is a really solid looking figure. The head sculpt in particular, that face sculpt, is very unique. It's very skeletal and like zombie looking, but I really like it, especially with the hair coming down. And if you look on the back, there's some more hair, but it's a separate piece, so it doesn't restrict the articulation, which is very nice to include. And it is very nicely painted. Like, there's some silver there with the headlights and everything. It is painted well in the vehicle mode as well, but for some of these parts it does have like an extra orange accents, which is really nice to see. Same with the legs. Most of these is painted, like the entire front side, and the wheels are also painted. But this does have some build quality issues, mostly in the legs. They are just really loose, and that kind of limits my enjoyment of this, because you can't really get her into any poses because it just falls down. You just have to have it in this straight configuration. As for the accessories, she comes with these two arm mounted cannons, and you just clip it on either side, and that looks excellent. I really like how it follows the shape of their hand area, and that just accentuates the design. Unfortunately, these aren't blast effect compatible. I really wish they were, but they still look good regardless. And yeah, that looks really good. But if you didn't want them on the arms, you can flip up the door wings and just peg them there with these tabs. And you can do that on both sides and just fold them back down. And it does kind of look like a jetpack if you want. So that's very good and a very neat idea for weapon storage. As for her articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so it can rotate. Just the shoulders do get in the way because of the hair down there. But I do really like how they didn't restrict it by adding the hair on top of there. So it can move back a lot. The arms, they are on ball joint, so they can rotate. It has some bicep rotation, an elbow bend to 90, and nothing at the wrists. There is no waist joint, though I really do think they could have gotten away with one. If they cut it just there, they could have definitely fit one in. But the legs go up that far. If you move this out the way, back that far, out to the side, only that far. But the worst part of this figure is that you can't officially get a knee bend, anything past that. But if you do, like, take this out a bit, then you can kind of fudge it. But then that looks weird. And also nothing at the legs as well. This is like my one major gripe with the figure, is that it doesn't have any ankle tilt. I mean, with the way this is engineered, they probably couldn't have fit it in, and it just sort of has like the pre-molded angle in the feet, just like the Transformers 1 Starscream, which, yeah, really sucks. But it is nice and stable in the feet, just because of how, like, bulky they are, especially for a female Transformer. But it is nice to see, like, that she does stand on her own pretty well. But it's just the loose hips. Articulation out the way, how does she fare for scale? Here she is with the Voyager class Galvatron and Leader class Optimus Prime from Age of Extinction, and she holds up pretty well. That's kind of what I would expect from a deluxe class, but she is just lacking in the articulation department. So now let's move on to the transformation. For the transformation, it is a little bit fiddly, so it is probably going to be a little bit hard to showcase that in the full video. It is probably going to be hard to showcase that on video, but I will try my best. For the first step, you're just gonna fold the knee pads in if they aren't already, and do the same with the feet, just fold them in. And just be careful because they are really like hard to get out. You have to really put your nail in there. And yeah, just take off the guns because we will need them for later. And once you have done that, just take the entire backs of the legs and completely fold that out. And that's very impressive that they managed to fit all of that in the backs of the legs. I will give them that. Like, the engineering is kind of impressive on this figure. Once you have done that, you just connect it all together throughout the middle, and just be careful of this clear plastic insert because it does have a connector in there, and mine is started to stress a little bit. And because of the loose knees, like you will have like this entire section folding back when you're trying to do this. But once you have done that, you will take the guns and just take these slots and peg them there. But the main issue with that is that they don't peg in properly, and they will fall out quite a lot during this transformation. So once you have done that, just move the arms out of the way, take these parts, lift them out, and just slot them in over these parts. And just make sure they snap in. There's like a little tab and a slot back underneath that, and make sure that tabs in as well. Once you have done that, lift up these wings and take this entire back section with the head on it, fold that down, and just tab it in there. Then once you have done that, you take the arms and just fold them back like that. Same with this side, fold them back like that. And once you have done that, you take this entire section, fold these down, and make sure they peg in place. Same with the guns, make sure they don't really fold out, and just make sure the doors are slotted in. And once you have done that, just fold everything down, including this. And once you have done that, just fold down these parts and just make sure everything tabs in nice and tight. So let's take a closer look. Now with Widowmaker fully transformed up, we can take a look at this amazing looking vehicle mode. And I do believe this is a McLaren, but I'm not sure which type. I'm not really that big into cars, but as a Transformers fan, this looks phenomenal. For like a reasonably small car mode, this has all the details you would expect, like from the sides, they're painted in the gunmetal, but it does have some clear plastic windows, but they are inserted, which is really nice. Pinned on wheels, which means she rolls really well. Painted headlights, you can even see there's a little red paint for the logo there. Painted grille, and painted wheels, and for this entire back section, it's all painted as well, even up here. You can see there's like a little gas thing. Yeah, this looks amazing here, and it's got like all the right shaping and everything. The only complaint I would have is this doesn't really like to tab in, and the weapons do fall out like quite a lot. And yeah, they're very annoying when you're trying to transform this thing. But this looks amazing here. It does have a little bit of swirling on the plastic just because it is kind of shiny, but you can't really notice in hand. And yeah, the windows are painted in an orange, and yeah, they don't really paint match that well. It's hard to notice in real life, but on camera it's picking it up like quite noticeably. Yeah, this is like the perfect alternate form. The transformation wasn't that big of a hassle, just a bunch of clearance issues and things not tabbing in. So let's get her transformed back up, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so now that we have Widowmaker transformed up, what are my thoughts on this figure? Well, in my opinion, it is very good. Like, I see people hating on this figure, but like the alt mode is fantastic. The robot mode, not so much, mainly down to the use of ball joints and their looseness, and no ankle tilt or waist rotation. But that's not that big of a deal. And I do really like the accessories and the head sculpt on her. And like, they did pretty well with the design that they worked for, because I think this is just concept. I don't think they made like a fully CG model or anything to go off of. But like, it does look a bit different compared to the concept art, but maybe they were just using a different concept. But yeah, I think this is an alright figure. Not as bad as Barricade, definitely not. because both modes in this, for this figure, look really good. But it's only the articulation and the quality control issues, especially when you're transforming it and these pop off. So I'm probably gonna give this figure a 7 out of 10. It would be an 8 out of 10 if it didn't have any quality control issues, but since this is my review and my copy of the figure, I'm gonna be taking a point away because of that. Hasbro really needs to like check their quality control. So yeah, as usual, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on this figure down in the comments below. Peace.